Hello and welcome to my favourite shots.
You didn't tell me your name.
My name's Phil, and this is where we take one shot from one film and unpick it and find out why it's so good.
Hi.
If you've not done so already, please hit the subscribe button below and the bell button, and then you'll get a notification each time I put a new video up.
Well, I could do that.
Well, our first film that comes up in my favourite kisses is a Hitchcock film. It's a film called Rear Window. And if you watch this today, it's still really, really good. I know it's an old film, and sometimes old films can be good in a Sunday afternoon, feeling a bit sleepy on the sofa kind of good. I was lucky enough to catch this film at the cinema. It was a rerun, I'm not that old, and this is where I experienced this shot. And I say experience rather than saw, because it does feel like an experience. Alfred Hitchcock is such a master at making his audience feel a certain way, and also a master in telling a story from a point of view. And this film is all told from the point of view of L.B. Jeffries, played by James Stewart. And he's a photographer, and he's broken his leg, and he's stuck in his apartment. And every single shot in this whole film is from this apartment. Some of the action happens outside of the apartment, but we, as a viewer, and the camera stays exclusively inside the apartment. And we're going to go straight into the clip this week. We're going to watch the clip, and then we'll talk about why it's so good.
How's your leg?
Hurts a little.
Goodness me, that Alfred Hitchcock guy is very clever. What a moment, that kiss between those two characters. It's such good cinema. And there's lots of reasons why. Okay, so let's go through them. We'll go through the visual side first. Okay, so he's asleep, and you see this ominous shadow going across his face. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, something bad's going to happen. And then suddenly you see Grace Kelly, and she's bending over to kiss James Stewart. But because this film is exclusively from his point of view, it really does feel like Grace Kelly's bending down to kiss us. When I saw this on a cinema screen and Grace Kelly is coming towards me, that big towards me, it felt really nice. And then the moment where they kiss, they actually go into slow-mo, you can see ever so slightly. So they're trying to heighten that moment.
How's your leg?
Hurts a little.
Another reason this shot is so good is that Alfred Hitchcock always avoids the cliche. I've even heard him say in interviews that he always does what the audience is not expecting him to do. And with that giant shadow coming over his face, you're expecting something scary to happen, and he's known for doing scary things. So to then have a beautiful woman come and kiss you, it's exactly what you're not expecting. And the dialogue is very everyday. They're obviously a couple who are happy.
And your stomach?
Empty as a football.
It feels so private, and the way that Alfred Hitchcock does this is to do with the sound. The sound changes as she comes in for that kiss. So you can hear the woman singing, but as Grace Kelly goes in for the kiss, it changes, and it comes right down till it's almost completely silent. And you kind of don't notice it. And that's why it's so good. I mean, we're always talking about subtlety and how you don't make it too obvious. And the reason that's important in film is because it's too obvious, then the audience spots it, and you kind of lose that moment. And that's kind of reflecting what's going on in the characters' heads. All of their concentration is on each other. So it's not realistic sound. I mean, that sound didn't actually go down that low in real life. the director has brought it down slowly so as to heighten that moment between them, that moment of connection, that moment of privacy. It's very, very beautiful. And the other thing to point out is that there is a moment as Grace Kelly comes in for the kiss where she looks straight at the camera, and that makes it feel even more like we are experiencing that moment with LB Jeffries. So there you go, one of my favourite kisses from one of my favourite films, told by the master storyteller who is Alfred Hitchcock. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
You should re-watch that film, it's very good.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes. Now. Fine.
And next week we're coming right back up to date and we're going to have a look at a kiss from a film called Guardians of the Galaxy. So come back next time and I'll see you next week.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.